Hello again, YouTube. It's Skylar. Welcome back to my face. And today's video is going to be a hormone replacement therapy update. Now, the past couple of days I took off. I was extremely tired, and my energy levels kind of just hit a brick wall, so I didn't feel like I could make any amazing content those days, so I just took a break. But I'm back, and I'm good. So, it has been 9 months to the day that I have been on hormone therapy. Woohoo! So, what have I experienced thus far since beginning my transition? Well, in the last video I made on this, which was my 8th month update, I had told you how I had experienced a lot more mood swings, and since then, those have kind of subsided. Now, I'm not sure if that's because my hormone levels are starting to balance out now, or if I'm just getting used to my new emotions. Maybe it's a little of both. I don't know. But what I do notice is I have experienced much more significant breast tissue. I am definitely a full B cup now, which is so amazing. Never thought I would get to that point because for trans women, breast size is typically restricted because your body's already finished developing. So normally you don't develop the cup size that you would if you were transitioning in your teen years. So most trans women don't experience breast development past the stage 4 of Tanner scale, which is almost fully developed breasts, which a lot of people will opt into getting breast augmentation. And that's something that I have considered, but again, like I said before on that subject, I do want to wait and see how much I develop first and see kind of where the development plateaus before I make decisions like that. But hopefully, if it keeps on par with how it's doing right now, I probably will not require that, which is really good for two reasons. Because it's a lot more expensive, just adds another bill onto my transition, but also because just having my own natural breast just feels more organic, and it just feels more, not that I have anything against augmentation, but I don't know, like the idea of having your own natural breasts as opposed to augmented ones. I don't know, I have a bias towards natural just because it's natural. I mean, who doesn't like natural? Also, most of my stretch marks that had appeared early on in my transition are now starting to finally fade away, which tells me that my proportions are starting to bottom out because the amount of new stretch marks that I've noticed has gone down. So I think my body is finally settling into its normal place, and I have definitely noticed a lot more curves. My hips have widened pretty significantly. I'd say probably 2 or 3 inches they've gotten wider. It used to be like, a tree trunk, just flat all open down, and now you can start to see more of that curvature in the hips area. And I'm really lucky because usually people around my age, the pelvis is already fused together, so hip widening for trans women usually isn't possible at that point. But it does seem that my hips do appear to be growing out, so my pelvis has still not yet fused yet, so there's still a chance for them to widen more. But I just have to wait and see on that because it's all kind of little things. And when you're transitioning, you have the tendency of the placebo effect because you're so eager to see change that you sometimes can imagine change that's not there. But when there is change and it's noticeable, you can definitely tell. Other than that, my hair, which is significantly getting thicker, I had suffered from male pattern baldness because of testosterone. Unfortunately, I do have to wear a wig throughout my transition until my natural hair regrows, which it has been. And it's gotten to the point where almost all of the areas that were previously bald have started to regrow with new hair. Now, unfortunately with this, you have the issue of the hair that was there before starts to grow out, whereas the new hair that's just starting to come in is basically like peach fuzz, and it's really colorless and it's really thin and wispy, and then over time it grows thicker and coarser back into your regular hair. But there's sort of a mismatch now between the hair from before that's grown out and the new hair that started to grow in. There's about like a 2 or 3 inch difference between the two. This is pretty significant. So the areas where the hair has started to grow in are still really light and peach fuzzy. And then the other areas, such as, around the neck tapered area, are starting to grow out finally. But I kind of have to wait for the new hair to grow out, if that makes sense, so that it kind of matches up and I can trim it to match. So that's going to take a while, because the last time that I got a haircut, which I don't know why I did, but it was right after I started hormone therapy. So about 7 or 8 months ago, I got my haircut. So yeah, it sucks. Your hair takes so long to grow. I didn't realize that. So it'll probably be until almost the end of the year, I think, before I'll feel comfortable enough that I can probably like get extensions or something. I won't need a wig anymore, which would be great. But one thing that I do realize, especially with this last round of laser hair removal that I've gotten, is a significant reduction in facial hair, to the point now where even without my makeup on, there's almost no visible hair. I mean, it's still there. I still have to shave, unfortunately, but nowhere near what it was before, which was like full on 5 o'clock shadow, like pirate beard. Yeah, it was really, really dark, really thick hair. So yeah, it's getting a lot easier now when I wake up in the morning, even if I'm not ready, I don't have my makeup on. I can finally start to look in the mirror now and just see myself. I don't have to get all pretty and, I look better when I do. Obviously, everybody looks better when they get ready in the morning. But even before that, I'm starting to see myself. I'm starting to see myself in the mirror when I look back, instead of feeling like I'm pretending or dressing up to be someone that I am. Now I just am that person. I feel like, I can see the changes with the hormones. Estrogen's a very powerful hormone, same with testosterone. So I know, seeing me on a day-to-day basis through videos, it's kind of hard to tell, but just the shape of my face and, my cheeks and everything, like, it's changed so much. Like, I look so much different now, just looking at a picture. And I'm sure someday I'll probably summon up the courage to show you guys what I looked like prior to hormone therapy, but I'm not at that point yet because I'm still going through transition. And I just wanted to leave on this point so I don't go over my time in this video today, but I've started to think more and more about like the future, after I finish transitioning, and it made me realize how small of a part of transition is in a person's life. Like, for trans women, transition can only be like 2 or 3 years, and then you can move on with your life and be normal. But it's so weird when you're going through it. It just feels like forever. It's kind of like high school. When you're in high school, it feels like you're in high school forever. But then once you graduate and you move on into the adult world, it's like high school was like this much of your life. And like, that's not who you are, it's in your past. And I'm starting to get that way with my transition, is feeling like the closer and closer I get to finishing my transition, the more I realize how little it's in my life. Like 3 years in a person's life is a very small time period. So while I do have a lot of, anxiety about waiting and, because I am pretty impatient and I do like things to come faster and faster, it is nice to kind of think about that for a moment and stop and smell the roses, because you only transition once. And I'm sure 10 years from now I'm going to look back on my transition and being like, oh, what was I so worried about, blah 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 blah. Kind of like when people are in high school, they think every little thing's the end of the world, and then you laugh later on in life when you're an adult because you realize how insignificant and it really was. And that's the point I'm at in my transition. So with that said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my videos for more amazing content. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.